Alright boys, welcome to 66 Tips to Dominate Red Dead Online's newest update. Howdy folks, how you doing? My name is Pineapple, welcome back to the channel, and like I just said, we're going to be taking a look at 66 tips to dominate Red Dead Online's newest update. And these came straight from Rockstar themselves. In this video, we're going to cover all things about how to find legendary animals easier, tips for when animals get stuck in the water, which in-game items make the rolls easier, and a lot more. So let's hop into this walkthrough for the role that Rockstar just gave us. This video is actually broken up into a few sections. First off, we have getting started and ranking up. Then we have tools of the trade. Then we have a section on Harriet herself. And then finally, we will be talking about the advanced camera and the legendary animals. I only bring that up now because all the timestamps will be listed in the description, so should you guys choose to jump around, you're more than welcome to do so. And with that, let's hop into number 1. So, Rough Riders, our first tip to dominate Red Dead Online's new update is actually about where to find Harriet herself. For those who don't know, she's available in Strawberry, and you can buy her sample kit during the cutscene, or if you don't want to buy it during the cutscene, you can optionally go to one of her 3 locations on the map and buy it anytime. Now, those 3 locations are as follows: west of Wallace Station, in the marshes of Lagras, and right near McFarlane Ranch. Now third, Harriet sells 22 sedative ammo for the varmint rifle, which you'll need in order to sedate and sample most animals. As soon as you wake up right after your initial introduction to Harriet in the Naturalist role, head back to one of Harriet's shops and stock up. Now I do want to note here, do not buy the pamphlet and craft it yourself. There's a ton of videos about this online, but it's pretty much a waste of your time right now. Just buy the ammo from Harriet. The number 4 tip that Rockstar gives is bringing animal samples from sedated animals to Harriet is the fastest way to start earning XP and Red Dead Online money. As you rank up, you'll gain access to a variety of new gameplay options to continue your journey, but in the beginning, bringing animal samples from sedated animals to Harriet is the best way to level up. Also, make sure you're reviving them afterwards. It does cost you money, but it's worth it for the XP. Our 5th tip is, if you prefer, you can instead choose to bring a carcass or pelt to Gus McMillan, who will pay you Red Dead Online money for these goods and can craft a unique clothing item from their hides for purchase. While working for Gus will bring you immediate benefits in the form of clothing, hunting for Gus does not provide Naturalist role XP. And I will say, you do have to sell the things to Gus before he can craft them. Like, I saw a lot of people being confused about this. You sell him the thing and then you can go craft the item. It's just like the Trapper in story mode. Number 6, starting at Naturalist rank 5, Harriet's sighting missions will become available. These are multi-stage and storied hunts in which a successful sighting will award you with Naturalist XP should you decide to sample a legendary animal. Subsequently, selling your legendary animal sample will earn you even more Naturalist XP and allow you to progress through the role more quickly. While choosing instead to sell the skin to Gus, you'll earn regular XP, not Naturalist role XP, and a legendary pelt will then be available for Gus to craft with, which is some of the coolest clothing in the game. Number 7, Harriet's poached animals missions are also a great way to gain Naturalist XP. These can be accessed by speaking with Harriet at her shop, selecting missions, and pressing square, X, or space to launch them. Now be warned, there will be a cooldown period before you can launch another mission. It's only about 5 minutes though. Number 8 is check your animal field guide, found in your satchel or the item wheel to track your progress. And I know that's a simple one, but bear with me here folks, this is the getting started section. Now in your animal field guide, there's a few other things we need to talk about. Each unique animal sample you sold to Harriet will result in a stamp appearing over the corresponding animal in your guide. Once each animal within a single category has been stamped, highlight your completed category and select the trade in option to receive a hefty payout of Red Dead Online money and RP. Once you've traded in a fully stamped category, your stamp progress will be reset and you can begin stamping them once again. Now that's it for the animal field guide, but we need to talk about legendary animals. And that brings us into tip number 12. To seek out legendary animals, check your legendary animal map, accessed via the satchel, and turning in legendary animal samples will earn you more role XP than regular samples. Now I know what you're gonna say here, there's a bug and they're not spawning. Give it a little bit and we're gonna talk about how you can find these more easily. It's just later on in the video. And that kind of butts up against the next one, number 13. As you rank up through the Naturalist role, more legendary animals will be able to show up in free roam. Speak with Harriet regularly so that she can mark these new animal discoveries on your legendary animal map. The next tip, and this one is overlooked by a lot of people, do the Naturalist daily challenges. they will help you level up very fast. Now next up, at Naturalist rank 4, you will start to receive invites to Naturalist free roam events. These will award large amounts of Naturalist XP for participating, and some are also a great opportunity to get samples for legendary animals. And the last one for this section, number 16, is at Naturalist rank 7, you may begin to come across poachers in free roam who have captured certain animals. Deal with them as appropriate and release the trapped animals to gain even more XP. And that is it for the getting started section. Now we are going to hop in and talk about tools of the trade. And to kick off tools of the trade, we have tip number 17. Remember to double check the ammo you're using on your varmint rifle to make sure you don't kill an animal you're trying to sedate. This happens to me a lot. You can change your selected ammo on a weapon with the D-pad or the mouse using the weapon wheel. This is either LB, L2, or the tab key. Number 17 is it takes multiple shots to sedate an animal, and the amount of shots varies depending on the animal's size. And yes, hits to critical areas like the head or the heart will down the animal much faster. Now the caveat to this is that smaller animals such as birds or squirrels cannot be sedated, so be careful not to kill them with sedative ammo. Unless you're planning on selling these materials to Gus, of course. Sedative ammo still does damage to an animal once it's been knocked out. Once you have successfully sedated an animal, you will see the reticle turn to a red cross and hear a distinctive sound. A sedated animal can't be sampled while in water though, so you've got to use the lasso to pull it back to shore. And just so everybody knows, you can't use the lasso on smaller animals, for example a water snake, so it's best to stalk them until they reach the shore before taking your shot. Another tip here, and a lot of people have been doing this for a long time, but just in case anybody doesn't know, the physics in this game are built so that you can jump in the water and push the animals back with your body. It's pretty cool. It is a little bit tedious though. Number 24 is animals will wake up naturally once you've left the surrounding area. Many will run off, but aggressive animals may attack again if you stick around. Optionally, you can use Animal Reviver, available at Harriet shop, which I highly recommend you do, to revive a sedated animal and gain additional roll XP. And this kind of goes without saying, but I feel like I have to mention it here because this is a, all-encompassing video. The Bounty Hunter's Eagle Eye Plus ability will really help you track animals more efficiently. Now, my personal method for this, and this is echoed here in the Newswire post from Rockstar by user @Station069 on Twitter, is to use the refined binoculars to look for the animals that you're looking for. It's really easy to study them this way. And then once you find the animal you're looking for, use Deadeye and paint it black and paint the animal a bunch. That way you don't have to manually fire each shot and you don't have to spook the animal first. Super easy. And now the next tip is going to be when dealing with a pack of animals, particularly predators, focusing your tranquilizer fire on one specimen helps avoid wasting ammunition. And next up, remember to keep an eye on the number of samples in your satchel. While you can and should store multiple samples at once, for more efficiency, you can only hold a set amount at a time. Unfortunately, Rockstar doesn't say what that is for each one here. I'll have to do some more research on that. And that is actually it for tools of the trade. Our next section here is going to be all about Harriet Davenport herself. Now this is a pretty short section, but there's some good in here, I promise. And Harriet actually kicks this list off with number 28. Fill out each requirement in the animal field guide to complete progress for each animal. Photographs can be taken with either the camera or the advanced camera. However, the animal must be fully conscious and in frame to count towards your progress. And another tip here is hold off on the itchy trigger finger if you want to complete your animal field guide. You can't study, sample, or effectively photograph an animal once it's dead. Also, and this is the main thing with Harriet, killing too many animals may upset her. If she gives you the cold shoulder, you may need to allow her a few minutes before she's ready to speak with you again. And by the cold shoulder, we mean making you wake up in the woods. And our next tip is you can complete the study requirement for animals by aiming at them and pressing the appropriate button when prompted. And apparently this was actually pointed out by Redditor Fusion, who said, study every animal you come across. I've just been aiming with my rifle at them as I ride past. Now this does double up with a tip we mentioned earlier where you should be using the advanced binoculars, or refined binoculars? It's refined, isn't it? Yeah, it's refined binoculars. But if you don't have access to those, a gun is your next best bet. And next up, we have a section here on Gus McMillan. And speaking of Gus, while Gus will pay good money for a full carcass, he cannot craft unique clothing items from intact animals. If you are seeking his craftsmanship in the form of a new coat or otherwise, you must skin the animal before selling it to him. Selling him the pelt itself will unlock the related garment set. Additionally, you have to sell the buck antlers and things of that nature to him individually as well. So don't think that you can sell a full buck and get the antlers and the pelt out of the deal, you have to skin it and sell the two individually. Hopefully this is adjusted at some point, but right now that's the way it is. And next up for Gus, my advice here would be to hunt the legendary animals for Harriet first and then go ahead and bring them to Gus. You can do this the other way around, it's just not going to help you level up as fast. And we are all going to be able to go hunt and get ourselves clothes in the coming weeks and months, but the content that we are actually playing with Harriet is what's new and shiny right now. So I would recommend going through that first, and then we can go hunting. At least that's how I'm playing it. Now, a small tip here also is that you cannot skin an animal after it's been sedated, even if you've revived it. So bear this in mind when you approach each hunt with whether the intention is to sample or skin, because you cannot do both. As more legendary animals are adding to Red Dead Online in the coming weeks, many more clothing options and items will become available from Gus, so check on him every week when you hop in. And that is going to be the end of Gus's section. Next up, we are going to talk about the advanced camera for a minute. Now, the first thing Rockstar says about this is purchasing an advanced camera can be done through the handheld catalog or on Social Club. While you can use the standard camera to snap photos of animal for your field guide, you may benefit from the advanced camera's increased maneuverability. Additionally, while in handheld mode, you can walk around and crouch with the advanced camera, which is a hugely user-requested feature. The next tip is to make sure you snap your photo before using sedative shots on your targets. Photos of tranquilized or deceased animals won't count towards your field guide progress. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people posting on Twitter pictures of dead animals and wondering why they aren't getting their field guide filled out. Take the picture before you shoot it, guys. Next up, Harriet sells a blending tonic which will allow you to get closer to wildlife to snap it before it flees or attacks. So essentially it makes you smell bad so the animals don't notice you. And finally, the last thing Rockstar wants to note about the advanced camera is this. As with the regular camera, head to the Social Club menu option in-game where you can edit photos and upload them to your Social Club profile. And now here's the section I'm assuming you have all been waiting for. This is going to be the legendary animal section, and hi to the people who skipped straight here. What's going on? Welcome to the back quarter of the video. So the first tip from Rockstar is check your legendary animal map accessed in your satchel via the Documents tab for new legendary animals available to track and hunt in free roam. This map will update. That's why this has been in here 3 times about how you should check it. It updates when you talk to Harriet, as well as the fact that it also updates when the game updates. So keep your eye on this map. Now, the next thing Rockstar wants you to know is that legendary animals will often attempt to run away from you. Make sure you have plenty of bitters for you and stimulant for your horse before seeking out one. Use some legendary animal pheromones available at Harriet's shop if you've lost sight of the animal. Now, Rockstar does separately note here that it is not advised to use legendary animal pheromones until you've already received a notification that there is a legendary animal in the area. This does not make them spawn, it makes them come out faster once they spawn, and you'll know it's spawned because there will be a gold question mark on your map, similar to how a stranger mission looks in story mode. And next up, they say if you're struggling to find legendary animals in free roam, check out the legendary animal map that Harriet gave you and make sure to visit her often for updates on which animals have been spotted and where, because like I just said, she mentions things when you go there. Like if you go there with a raccoon hat on your head, like I always wear, because that's what I wear in real life too. What, you guys didn't know that? What, you guys didn't know that I'm like 200 years old? Anyway, if you go there with a raccoon hat on your head, she complains about it. She is the first person who does things like that inside of Red Dead Online, who reacts to you dynamically, and she will be doing that if you hang around her shop enough. She will give you hints about where animals are, etc., etc. Next up, if you're looking to find legendary animals and you can't, maybe it's worth taking a break, because completing more fields in the animal field guide will also result in more information on the legendary animal's preference for the time of day and weather. Because a lot of people seem to be complaining about the fact that they can't find legendary animals, but you're not supposed to be able to find them super easily. This is a little bit of a, you're supposed to hunt. It's hunting. Now, next up, throughout your progression on the Naturalist role, you will rank up your Eagle Eye, making it easier to find these legendary animals. So if your Eagle Eye wasn't all the way maxed out because you didn't really focus on the bounty hunter at all, don't worry, just keep grinding the Naturalist and you'll be fine. All right, now this is the best part, I would argue. This is the best and most helpful thing that Rockstar put together here. This is each legendary animal and what they like and where they are at and the unlocks and everything. So pay attention, get your notepads out, rewind it if you miss it, but we're gonna go through this. The legendary ZZ Beaver is particularly active around dusk or dawn. The legendary Moon Beaver prefers moister weather and is more active at either end of the day. The legendary Koji Bear typically appears earlier in the day. The legendary Wakpa Bear roams during the daytime in wetter weather. The legendary Kadata Elk enjoys drizzly and foggy weather and is most active during the daytime. The legendary Ozula Elk emerges later in the day, also preferring drizzly and foggy weather. The legendary Oda Fox roams at dusk and dawn and primarily during clear weather or overcast weather. The legendary Marble Fox also prefers around sunrise and sunset and is most active during clear or overcast weather. Now those are all the ones that are available before Naturalist rank 5. The following ones are unlock only. The legendary Tatanka Bison unlocks at Naturalist rank 5 and can be found during the daytime, often preferring rainy or drizzly weather. The legendary Winyan Bison, also unlocked at Naturalist rank 5, is a nocturnal creature, unlikely to be found during storms or rainfall. The legendary Emerald Wolf unlocks at Naturalist rank 5 and usually prowls at dusk or at night, striking during rainy or stormy weather. Now the legendary Onyx Wolf is only a night-dwelling animal and it only shows its face in clear or overcast weather. Next up, the legendary Iguagua Cougar, which doesn't unlock until Naturalist rank 10, typically hunts at dusk during rainy or drizzly conditions. And then finally, the legendary Mesa or Maza Cougar unlocks at Naturalist rank 10 and is most active in the day, also preferring wetter weather. All right, and now we have rounded out to the end of this, but I think we're still a few tips shy. So Rockstar does have some additional tips, and then I have one more for you. But they say many legendary animals are available to track and hunt via Harriet sighting missions, which unlock at Naturalist rank 5 and can be launched by speaking with her at the shop. First, they say, when dealing with poachers in missions or in free roam, be sure to gather samples from any animals you freed before selling those to Harriet for Red Dead Online money and roll XP. Also, loot any poachers you've dispatched, as they may be carrying pelts or other valuables. Additionally, various baits that you've crafted or purchased from the catalog can help attract animals to the area for studying, sedating, or hunting. And finally, from Rockstar here, they say, if you're after pelts or carcasses, it's always a good idea to hunt efficiently and reduce damaging pelts. Many animals can be lassoed and killed with a knife for a perfect pelt. For bigger game, clean headshots with the bolt action or rolling block rifle can help you get a one-shot kill. And then finally, the last tip I want to give here, and this is directly from me and not Rockstar, but check your benefits section. There is literally like 6 levels of Naturalist roll XP in there right now. It's in like, here's another 2,000, here's another 2,000, here's another 2,000. So I would highly recommend going and checking your benefits section, because there's a ton of stuff in there right now, because Rockstar is super excited that a lot of people are playing. And with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to you guys. Please drop your best tips for the new Red Dead Online DLC in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys very soon with a brand new Red Dead Online video. My name has been Pineapple. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.